Hey everybody, it's Mrs. Curtis. Today we're going to be continuing on with our Fun in the Sun unit, and we're going to be continuing on working with perspective. We're going to be making an awesome flamingo on the beach. So I want you to follow along. Make sure that you listen to all of the steps before you do them. We are going to be doing some marking of some points to help us. We're going to be doing some measuring. Make sure you have a pencil. That way if you mess up, you can erase. I'm going to use my Sharpie so you can see it on the screen. We're going to start by we're going to start by making sure that our paper is going the tall way or portrait style. This is really important. If you have your paper turned landscape, your picture is not going to fit. So make sure your paper is turned the tall way or portrait style. And we're going to start by finding the center of our top of our paper. So I'm going to kind of look between here and I'm going to find the center. And then I need to measure 2 fingers down. So I'm going to take 2 fingers at the top center and I'm going to put a dot just like that. Our next measurement is going to go directly below this one. And we want this time about 5 fingers in between them. So see how I'm putting my pinky right on that dot? And I spread my fingers just a little bit. And then my next dot is going to go below that one on the other side of my thumb. That one's a little bit tricky, so make sure that you're paying attention to how you're measuring. So it should be below it, about 5 fingers apart. All right, our last measurement is actually going to be on the right-hand side of our paper. So we're going to look all the way across the other side, and we want 2 fingers from the edge. So across from this dot and 2 fingers in. Okay. 3 dots on our paper, 2 fingers down in the center, 5 fingers in between, and then this one is 2 fingers from the edge. Give you a second. Okay, now that we have those 3 dots, we're going to make the number 2. I know that sounds really strange. We're going to go ahead and make the number 2. So I'm going to make, just like I would in my writing class or my math class, my number come down to this dot, and then over to this one. So you want the number 2. I promise. I know it looks strange right now, but it will look like flamingo when it's done. All right, we're going to make the inside of this 2 almost like a block letter 2, but I'm going to come down from this dot about 2 fingers, just like that. And I'm going to repeat this curve shape. So watch how this is. I'm going to start on my dot, and I'm going to repeat the curve and bring it down about even with that one right there, so you can see. So it's just a little bit of a curve here. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is make the flamingo's body. I almost called him a pelican. We're going to make the flamingo's body. I'm going to make a nice big smile curve that comes from this point all the way back to this back edge. So it's going to start here, curve around, and back up. Let's move back up to the head and let's finish that up. We're going to connect these 2 dots. And then we're going to add a beak in the front of that. And it's going to be kind of a rounded triangle. So I'm going to bring it out and back in. It's starting to look a little bit more like a flamingo now. Okay, we're also going to add an eyeball. And we're going to make an area on his face that's a little bit different. So I'm going to make kind of a sideways U shape first. It comes in. And then inside of that, I'll put his eyeball. And if you want to go ahead and add a reflection mark and color it in, you can. There we go. Let's move back down to his legs. We're going to make his legs pretty long because flamingos have really long legs. So I'm going to make a long, skinny rectangle that goes all the way to the bottom edge of my paper. Even if you have more room or less room than me, I want you to make sure that it goes all the way to the bottom edge. So long line to the bottom. Make a second one. That's the first leg, all the way to the bottom. The second leg, we're going to bend it just a little bit. So we're going to actually make kind of an arrow shape. It's going to come out, and then it's going to come back in to the bottom edge of my paper. Same thing on the second line. We're going to repeat that shape. Now he's got 2 long, skinny legs that he's standing on. All right. We need a tail. So we're going to add a diagonal line coming out, another diagonal line coming out to the side, and then just a couple of curves to kind of full up his tail. Just like that. Last thing we need to add to him is going to be his wing on the inside. We're going to make a horizontal line, and then one that kind of curves with the bottom of his body like that. And then we're going to add those same curves we did on his tail to the back edge of his wing, just like that by Sharpie. All right, now that we have our flamingo, we're ready to start working on our perspective background. To create the illusion of space, we're going to add 3 different horizon lines. They're not actually all horizon lines, but they kind of all look like horizon lines. The first one that we're going to add is going to be about 2 fingers from the bottom, and this is going to be where the sand meets the water. So you want this line to be kind of wavy. So I'm going to make a wavy line. Remember to stop at his legs, continue in between, and go to the other side. Got 2 fingers up. That's our sand meeting the water. Then we want another horizon line showing that the beach or the shoreline on the other side of the water. This one is actually going to be more of a straight across line, and you want it to kind of hit him somewhere around the top of his body. It doesn't have to be exactly like mine. And I'm going to make mine kind of come out. And I'm going to start on the side of his body so I know it's going to be in the right place, skip over his body, and continue on the other side. So we have sand, we have water, and then we're going to add one more thing, which is going to be a tree line to make it look like it's really in the distance on the opposite shore. And we're not going to actually draw trees because that would take a long time, and they're really far away, so you can't really see the details. So we're just going to kind of give the shape of trees. So they're going to be kind of these bumpy lines, and you can make them different heights, different sizes. We want to make them go behind him. Don't go through him because that would be super strange. And there's our trees way out in the distance behind him. Now, the last thing that we're going to add is we're going to add some texture to show what these different objects are. So the first area is sand. So we're going to add some sand texture. I'm going to continue using my Sharpie for this, but you could use an actual color like a dark brown crayon or a dark marker, and you're just going to add little dots all over your sand. Don't forget to add a few of them in between his legs because that is also the sand. So now we have some sand texture. In the water, we're going to add some water texture. We're going to add some kind of wavy lines to show that this is water. When we do this, the line should go from left to right, just like in our sailboat picture. So I'm going to add just a few little wavy lines. Nice calm water. Add a few between his legs there to show that the water is between his legs too. We're seeing through them. All right, that looks pretty good. And then on the trees, you could go in and add some texture to the trees, but I actually like to wait on the color for that and color them in with just different shades of green. So I'm not going to actually add anything else to the trees right now. If you want to add any other details to your picture, you can. Maybe you decide you want to add something to the beach here. Maybe you want to add something to the water. Maybe there's like a little toy sailboat floating across your water. Some people have said, can we add a sun to our picture? Sure, if you want to add a sun up in the sky, you can do that. Clouds, if you want to add some clouds to your picture, you can totally do that. So finish up your details, and then we're going to meet back here, and we're going to actually start adding some color to this. All right, friends, I'll see you next time. Bye.